Hello and welcome to a game between SjoW and WhiteRa. SjoW will be playing as the blue Terran player at the 12 o'clock position, and WhiteRa will be playing as the red Protoss player at the 3 o'clock position. This is GG Face, and the map is going to be Metalopolis. WhiteRa has scouted the 6 o'clock position and did not find his opponent there. He will be scouting the 9 o'clock position, I believe. This map is really good for air harassment, especially in these two spawning locations or at the bottom two over here and over here. But it is a really crazy match between these two players. I've seen it multiple times, and it is really exciting to watch. There is going to be another probe going to the 9 o'clock position. He will not find SjoW there, and WhiteRa will be going to the correct location this time. But of course, SjoW has not yet scouted, but I suspect that his opponent is not going to be at the 9 o'clock position because he would have gone into his base by now, and SjoW is going to move out ahead here and potentially try to deny the probe from scouting entirely, and he will be able to do just that. Cybercore is being opened up along with the assimilator is finished, and there's going to be a factory right away after the second marine. Third marine's on the way. Orbital command is already finished, and both these players are going to be on one gas at the moment. This pro might be able to make it out of there alive as he is running desperately away from that marine, and of course the factory is being built, and there is going to be another barracks, so very similar to game number 1 where there's going to be 2 barracks and 1 factory. Let's see what he does after that. There's going to be the warp gate, and it's not being chrono boost, and it does get chrono boosted now, and the probe is trying to wait it out to see if the marine is going to give up the chase, but no, the marine is still chasing him around, and there's going to be a tech lab along with the factory and the barracks about to be finished, and the probe is going to check for a natural expansion at this time. He is going to be opening up once again with the robotics facility, and he is going to fall back knowing that there's probably going to be a marine at the top of the ramp that will end his life. Secondary gas is being opened at this moment, and there's no second gas by SjoW just yet. WhiteRa is going to grab hold of the Zelda watchtower, keeping track of what's going in between the two bases, and another warp is being used on the warp gate tech. Another chrono boost, is going to be used on the warp gate tech, and this is a really bad idea. I really hate it when they do that. They put all of the building structures on one pylon. That is so dangerous. And at this moment, SjoW will be coming across with 3 marines, 1 marauder, and 1 hellion. They will be going to the watchtower, and this probe was thinking about hightailing out of there, but he knows his time is at an end, and if he stayed there, he would have bought himself a couple of more seconds. Chronos boost is being used on the gateway now. He needs to hold off this charge. There's 1 SCV. Let's see what that 1 SCV will do, as SCV is with the main army. Perhaps he will repair the Hellion. No, the Hellion is going to go right in. SCV is going to try to build a bunker there, and there's 2 probes off the line. He needs to hold this charge here, and the Hellion does get through, and he could put a force field if he wants. He could. The Hellions are going to work on some of these probes. He does manage to get 2 probe kills on the side there, and these Zealots and 1 sentry might be able to hold off this charge, as the sentry cannot be shot at by the marines and marauders because they don't have vision, and the stalker is going to take down the SCV there, and this 1 zealot is chasing down. He already has 1 kill, and he's chasing down the last 2 marines. There's 2 marines running for their lives. Immortal is being pumped out at this moment, and the zealot will actually get 2 more kills on the side there, and this bunker is probably going to get cancelled or possibly taken down, and it looks like it was going to be cancelled there. Warp Prism is going to be built by WhiteRa at this moment. This is a wacky game, as the Stalker is going to march out ahead, and the Stalker is going to get engaged by the Marauder. The Stalker might actually go down. No, the Marauder actually does go down with the help of his Stalker and also Immortal buddies, and Warp Prism is on the way. Meanwhile, inside the base, there is going to be 3 barracks, 1 with reactor, 1 with tech lab, and there is going to be a factory. The factory is going to pump out Hellions non-stop. The income tab for both these players are quite comparable, and this mule does get a slight advantage to SjoW for this moment in terms of the minerals, and ooh, that was a bad positioning of that Stalker, but the Stalker does rage on that wolf statue. I really do like the random statues that's placed out throughout the map, and there's going to be 1 Immortal, 1 Zealot, and 1 Sentry being dropped here. He will be able to take down a few SCVs. It looks like 2 SCVs have gone down, and I think he might lose additional units here, and that sentry does go down. This is an expensive harassment. A lot of those SCVs are still alive, and this Immortal is trying to kill some stuffs, and I don't think he's actually getting his money's worth for the Immortal, and the sentry's lost, and also these Zealots. He actually managed to kill only about 4 or 5 of those SCVs. I think he's got 2 kills on the Zealot, but we're not all SCVs, and this Warp Prism is going to run out of there. So great harassment so far. There is going to be only 3 gateways, 2 gateways active, third one coming up online, and there is 2 tech labs and 1 reactor attached to these 3 barracks. No attachments to the factory or the starport just yet, and he is going to focus on a very infantry heavy army size. This is at 50 versus 39, and of course that does not mean that WhiteRa is out of this game because he has just gotten the gateway online at this moment, and the unit composition does show that there is a lot of Marines, 3 Marauders, and also 4 Hellions. And on the other side, there is WhiteRa. There is going to be another harassment coming in, possibly for there's War Prism. He does have only 1 Zealot, 2 Stalkers, and 2 Sentries as well. And SjoW at this moment is still bursting ahead in terms of the army count, and he is going to do another harassment as well. There's going to be 1 Zealot being dropped here, and will get picked off almost immediately. And that War Prism is going to stay alive. Very nice there. Medevac is being dropped off at the refinery, at the simulator, but will get deterred by the Stalkers and Sentries. Both these players are playing very, very high octane game at this moment. There's going to be a lot of Marines being warped in, and actually warped in as Zealot there, and he might be thinking about going for another drop. A Nexus is being opened, and I think SjoW is thinking the same thing. He did put an SCV out there. He was deterred by this 1 Zealot inside that War Prism that may or may not have caused him to retreat. And this War Prism is getting really close to those Marines, and he is going to come in here. And the Marines do step up, and will he be able to take down? He is going, very, very close, and he actually survived that time. There is a medevac full of very useful units to kill probes, 3 Hellions and 1 Marauder to fight against a Stalker should that Stalker come over here, and he is trying to find an opening. And there's going to be Colossus along with the Thermal Lance being upgraded at this moment, and there's also going to be 1 Marine and Combat Shield, and he is really close to losing that 1 War Prism, but he will get it to run away. And come on, 1 more slash. Why did you take 2 slashes and not finish him off? And there's going to be a pickup for the War Prism. 2 medevacs coming up on the side here, and this War Prism is going to hightail out of there. He probably wants to regenerate his shield a little bit more. Actually, his shield is actually fully regenerated. His HP, that is really low, and the Colossus is out. There's 1 Colossus and a couple of Zealots, and there's a pylon there, and it just so happens 1, 2, 3 Hellions are dropped off. He only killed 1, 2 probes, 3 probes are down, 4 probes are down, and he is going to be able to get out of there with most of his troops intact. Another drop happens at the natural expansion. This time he will be able to take down the Immortal with just Marines. Great play there by SjoW. He will also be able to get 2 or so of those units for his efforts, and he is trying to drop here at the expansion, at the main base as well, and he's trying to take down the pylon over here. This is just great harassment from SjoW, and he picks up all of his Marines. Most of the Marines are very, very damaged, but very much alive. 2 Colossus not being able to do too much. The unit composition shows he only has 2 Stalkers and 2 Sentries spread out through his 2 bases, so that is not a great way to deal with flying units. He does have a lot of Zealots, 4. He actually has all of his anti-air units over here, and we see a nice chunk of army coming out from SjoW, but his Colossus should do fine against it. WhiteRa is going to check out the south side, and we'll be able to take down a lot of those Marines. 1 more Marine goes down. That was a slight mismanagement there by SjoW. He was probably managing his main army and macroing up quite nicely. He is going to get Vikings in response to the Colossus, and he is coming in here. He is going to push forward, and some units are going to go down here as he might possibly get a nice Nexus snipe here, and Zealots are pushing him backwards, and good force field there, preventing a lot of those units from. That was not a very good force field, but he did get some overlap. Another medevac is going to drop here in the back. These probes are going to go down very quickly as he is going to chase the main army of his opponent SjoW away. He is losing probes left and right in his main base. His probes are finally get pulled off the line. He did lose around 3 or 4 there, and the Hellion along with the Marauder have gotten quite a number of kills. 2 only on that Marauder, actually. I think the Hellions did get more kills. And the Hellion finally goes down there in the back. Great harassment by both these players so far, but I think SjoW is inching forward, and he finally takes down the medevac. The units lost tab does show that WhiteRa has lost a few more units, but they're more valuable units. I think what's hurting him is that Immortal drop he did earlier. He unnecessarily wasted the Immortal along with some Zealots, and he did not get that many SCV kills. The army size will show that his opponent SjoW is going to be about 7 or 8 ahead, 5 now ahead of his opponent, and he is going to march with 3 Colossus, a handful of Zealots, only 5, 6 Zealots, and some Stalkers coming out. And of course, SjoW might see this coming. The vision of SjoW does show that he sees the Colossus coming from the back. He does have control of the watchtower, and WhiteRa is going to come in here. The Vikings are on the side. He can completely snipe these Colossus if he wants to, and he is going to start sniping the Colossus. Colossus going down really, really quickly, but he's also taking down the infantry units. SCV's getting into the midst of things, and he will be able to take down all of these Colossus. Colossus are down. Now the only things left are going to be Stalkers. He did try to drop over here, but some Zealots were warped in, and these Stalkers are going to be able to run away possibly from these infantry units. And of course, Vikings on the floor is not as quick as Stalkers will be able to run away. That was not a very good attack by WhiteRa, but WhiteRa tried his best, and he does have one observer here watching what's going on. There's also one medevac over here, very, very close to death, almost dead with only one Marine inside. He probably won't be able to do too much harassment. He might want to reinforce that HP by repairing with some SCVs, and he is going to open 2 additional gateways. Income tab does show that both these players are pretty much dead. Even it is what they're doing with their micro that is making a difference. And of course, that WhiteRa is getting on a 3rd gas as well, and this medevac is not going to get repaired. He is going to just send that medevac along with the rest of it. And the army composition shows a lot of Marauders, not so many Marines, some Vikings, and the Vikings will be able to take down this Colossus possibly. Ooh, he just needs one more volley of shots. He does take down the Colossus, and the Zealots are getting in the face of the infantry units, but he can micro back if he wants to. Good force field there, forcing him to engage some of his units right between the lamppost and the ramp. Great force field, and these Zealots are getting into the midst of things, and there are some Vikings on the high ground, but those high grounds, the Vikings are on the ground and did get taken down by the Zealots. And at this moment, the army size is at 79 versus 61. Not a huge difference, but a significant difference nonetheless. The Marauders coming in here, taking down a lot of these probes. Probes going down very, very fast, and he is microing very well. Those Marauders are getting individual attention like individual tutors from those medevacs, and the medevacs will be able to keep those Marauders alive, and he's gotten a lot of probe kills. At the same time, there's a drop inside the base. These probes are going down as well, and WhiteRa is in a lot of trouble as he does not have as much mining, and he's going to come back here at the same time as well, and he is going to kill off more probes. And Stalker, he does get take down a Stalker. Marauders running away from these Zealots very nicely. Zealots cannot reach these Marauders, and Marauders are falling back full speed now, and there is still harassment going on in the back. He does take down a pylon there. 3 kills, 4 kills, 3 kills, 1 kill, and also 4 kills. That is a lot of kills for this set of units, and he is sealing the deal here, I think, and more infantry units are coming in. And the main base is getting harassed. He is going to pick these units up, and he's also moving back and forth. Great harassment by SjoW. He is going to seal the deal, I think. He does have 2 medevacs in the back if he wants to. He has a lot of medevacs here, a lot more units coming out, and there's a Dark Shrine. Will Dark Shrine change the tide of this battle? And the Colossus is going to shoot down a lot of those infantry units. A scan goes off. He is coming in here. He's going to try to finish this. He's kiting away from these units, and he is going to kite further and further away, and these Zealots can't do too much as they're getting kited non-stop. And of course there's Marauders everywhere here in the natural expansion, here in the main base, but the main battle is occurring here, and these probes are going to try to help, but he is actually only hurting himself because he's cutting down his income, and he's moving the probes back and forth, and he's trying to deal with this multiple harassment, one at the main mineral mine, one at the base, and there's also one at the natural expansion. Just absolutely great control from SjoW. SjoW is doing very, very well with the control, and he's absolutely stopping the mining, forcing the probes to go back and forth between the main base and the natural expansion, and WhiteRa can't really deal with this. He does also have some units here attacking in the back, and he does call GG. What a great, exciting game that was. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and more will come very shortly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next game. Dark Templars did not see you.